And now, Reformer802.com Real Talk blogger Shanta asks you to ponder this.
I forgot how well I knew this area. Forgot tiny things like certain streets, the buildings I would pass by, not paying attention to them. I'd been in this area for 12 years, and it was not until I moved out of it that I realized there was a familiarity I was missing now that I was in a new area. That is a quote from my friend within one of our conversations about the newness of moving and the things that you don't realize until you're out of your immediate or most familiar environment. His vivid, brief description of realizing that he was not in the place of familiarity after 12 years and now in a new geographic location speaks to something that we all forget from time to time. Familiarity is arguably something that lulls us into a false sense of knowing while providing a sense of comfortable intimacy. Perhaps there are other things through our senses that we take for granted until something different is introduced. I'll give you an example. A few months ago, I was at work, took a restroom break, and washed my hands just before coming back to my desk. Upon sitting back at my desk, I started to arrange papers, folders, and with my hands moving fast with the motion of my arms. While doing this, I caught a whiff of a scent from the hand soap that seemed to mix with the residue of lotion on my hands. I was immediately transported to the busy and crowded streets of Alleppey in southern India as I recalled the route that led to a restaurant that I frequented every day for 2 months. I would go there almost every day around brunch to order sunny side up eggs and butter toast. I instantly saw the red walls, the simple menus and clear covers with a black border, and recalled the smell. During my 5-month stay in India, this restaurant was not the most notable or memorable place on my list. Yet, on this particular day while at work, sitting in my office back in America a few years later, a smell reminded me of this nondescript restaurant in India. However, I realized this restaurant that was once so familiar was now glaringly missing from my daily experience. Familiarity slips into our mouths when we eat our favorite dish and prints itself upon our fingertips with a familiar touch and transports us to that which is known and comforting. At the same time, familiarity causes a certain blindness, subconscious ignoring, and nurtures complacency as our bodies and minds get lulled into that moment of remembering or feeling familiar. To what extent is the act of being so familiar with something like our jobs, our relationships, our intimate environs is actually our undoing? In other words, can the familiar be detrimental or toxic for growth? It is not really a yes or no answer, but both depending on the specific set of circumstances. Sometimes it's impossible to know what has become familiar until we are swimming in an ocean of unfamiliar, very similar to the experience my friend spoke about with his earlier quote. Thus, dwelling in the realm of the familiar must be handled with care and balance while introducing things that challenge what we think we know so well.